Hey everyone, I hope you're well wherever you are. So I thought it would be fun to go through the stocks I'm currently digging into. This is a win-win for us both. See, you get some stock ideas that you might not have ever heard of, which you might like, and I get to share these ideas just in case someone out there has done lots of work already on any of these companies. In the past, I've had some amazing research provided to me about like Naked Wines, MEX.L, Seritage, and many more, so I like making this type of video. Okay, so let me just jump straight in. The first company is Trupanion. Trupanion is a pet insurance company out of the US, and it doesn't look good at first glance because it isn't profitable, but it actually is. It just spends a lot of its money on customer acquisition, which pays long-term returns. Now, I first seriously heard about this business when I met the CEO, Daryl Rawlings, at an event in Switzerland. This is definitely not how I normally learn about companies. I don't just run into multi-billion-dollar company CEOs very often. Now, Daryl certainly loves his business, but he just comes across, well, really American. My American friends all know this about other Americans. You know what I'm talking about. Americans can be known to talk a big game, pump themselves up, but I get concerned they are all just full of hot air and delusional, trying to make themselves sound bigger and more impressive than they actually are. And don't worry, Australians can do this too. So I actually dismissed this company because I just didn't get how they had a competitive advantage. I mean, there are so many insurance companies, and pet insurance, I assume, is a commodity like other insurance products. Like Lemonade or someone might want to turn on pet insurance in their app, and that'll just get a lot of customers. Anyway, I was encouraged by a friend to read the annual reports, which I reluctantly agreed I would, and wow. Daryl has articulated the details of the business in such a great way. I was wrong to dismiss this company so quickly. If you want a great read, I started from about 2015, and specifically the 2019 annual report is exceptional. I learned so much about the numbers of insurance and how to correctly value the business. The competitive advantage that Daryl and the team have built is a tight relationship with vets, so that Trupanion is easy to use for everyone, and it's also recommended by these vets. And sure, other companies will compete here, but Trupanion has a laser focus on the customer and the industry. I think they do have a substantial advantage. Now, definitely still a lot of work for me to do here and some more thinking, but I really like the long-term minded, highly invested CEO. I like the numbers, I like the runways for growth, I see the reinvestment opportunity, and I like the industry. Anything to do with pets is great. 1 in 4 people value their pet on the same level as a child. I'm not one of those people, but we all know plenty of them. So I'm watching Trupanion really closely, and I keep my buy prices and intrinsic values updated for Trupanion and other companies I follow in my monthly e-magazine. I use Interactive Brokers to do my investing, which is the safest of the brokers, and all these and the Money Manager's game as well. The links are in the description below. Now, next up is Tortilla Mexican PLC out of the UK. And I found this on Value Investors Club maybe 6 months ago, and I did a little digging at the time. Since then, I had my friends go to a handful of the shops and get a feel for the foot traffic and what the experience is like. And if the name didn't give it away, they are a Mexican fast food place, kind of like Chipotle. Anecdotal evidence was really good. It's cheap, tasty, healthy fast food. They haven't ever closed a location and been running it for more than a decade now. They aren't blowing the world away with rapid expansion, but controlled, manageable growth. The goal is to double the stores from around 50 to 100 in the next 5, maybe 6 years. That's 10 to 15% growth. I like that food production is all centralized, so quality is controlled. They have 2 reliable suppliers so that they aren't reliant on one particular supplier. And yes, macro issues are a thing with food prices going up, but this I think will actually help them overall because people want convenient fast food. And the price is going to get really important. Since Tortilla offered just about the lowest cost option out there, people are going to regularly visit. Then add that on top of how tasty it is and the healthiness of the food, I think it's a real winner. Now, there's definitely still a lot of unanswered questions, but luckily I have scheduled a meeting with the CEO to get as many of these answered. I'll have a rundown of this at some stage soon. Now, the next company is Lifco out of Sweden. Lifco is a serial acquirer out of Sweden. they acquire businesses with the desire to hold them forever, buying them for say 5 or 6 times profit and using the compounding cash flows to make more acquisitions. They are very decentralized and have an incredible track record. It's actually about an $8 billion market cap company now, and so it's not cheap either, but it has been a 100 bagger for the early investors. A really good serial acquirer can grow at 20% per annum for a long time, and I would consider this a very good growth stock with amazing longevity. And this is how Lifco explain themselves. The Lifco business concept is to acquire and develop market-leading, sustainable, niche businesses with the potential to deliver sustainable earnings growth and strong cash flows. They have a long-term view on their holdings, a focus on profitability, and a strongly decentralized organization. Now, if you know of Constellation Software, this is very similar to Constellation Software, just not in the software niche. The Swedish equivalent of Constellation Software is actually Vitec Software, by the way, and Constellation also has a spin-off Topicus expanding throughout Europe rapidly. So there are a few extra companies to take a look at. Anyway, back to Lifco. So for the last 15 years, from 2006 to 2021, Lifco's sales grew annually by about 13.5%, and EBITDA annually increased by about 19%. And Lifco seemed to acquire businesses in 3 areas: dental, niche machinery, and demolition. Maybe a strange mix, but a great mix of diversified long-term business models, and there's nothing flashy here. Now, I've got to confess, I'm really attracted to the serial acquirer's business model, as a lot of my portfolio are in businesses like this. There's Berkshire Hathaway, MEX.L, Kelly Partners Group, Judgement, plus some other amazing companies that I follow like Constellation Software and Judges Scientific. And the reason I think I really like this business model is because it is just a long-term compounding play. I also think it is safer than most because these businesses make many small acquisitions, which leads to diversification. The larger it gets, the more solid it becomes. It becomes really hard to see how a well-run serial acquirer can get wiped out. As long as they use debt wisely, think long-term, have happy sellers, and happy businesses, I think this model can work over and over again. And there's actually a handful of these serial acquirers in Sweden. It seems to be a niche business model in the value investing world and really popular in Sweden. I think this model can be a safe way to get to 100 baggers. I know that seems like a crazy claim, but it is the model that resonates with me the most. It's a business model I'm working on in one of my private businesses as well. Now, I've also actually just been to Sweden to spend some time visiting some serial acquirers there. I can't share the details with you yet because I need to edit the videos and I'm lazy, but look, stay tuned to the channel because I will share the experience and the discoveries. But for now, if you are interested, have a read of Lifco's website to get more of a feel for what they do and their amazing track record. Hit the like button for me so I know this was of interest. Don't be shy and write a comment to me as well, and I'll see you next week.